not one, but two new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers came out during the Japan D23 event. Hello everyone, Kingdom Kid here, and this is going to be my take on both of the trailers. So why don't we just start diving in? And let's start with the long trailer first. We open up to what appears to be the slogan or the tagline for Kingdom Hearts 3. Don't assume your dreams are just fantasy. If you can imagine a world, believe in it and dive in. I wonder if this has some meaning to the game or if it's just something they are using for the trailers. Moving along, we hear Sora calling someone out, then a dark portal appears, and who should walk out but Marluxia. He's back and looking better than ever in that Unreal Engine 4. It's so beautiful. Him and Sora have some banter about nobodies and how they won't stop Sora and friends. Sora says that the organization is recycling ideas. Then Marluxia makes a comment saying the only organization, and he serves it. It makes you wonder if Marluxia is part of the 13 Darknesses or not. It's interesting to note that his eyes are blue and not yellow like every member of Xehanort's organizations that we've seen so far. So he could be working on his own group that will be a hindrance to Sora and crew. Speaking of eyes, I love how Sora's eyes seem to reflect the world around him. On the subject of the world, it is most likely that we are in the Tangled world with what we have seen in the past. Marluxia makes a comment about seeing Sora again, remembering the events of Chain of Memories, but Sora, Donald, and Goofy don't remember him because they got their memories back and have to erase the memories that they got during Chain of Memories. I wonder if they will somehow get those memories back or be told of the events that happened in Chain of Memories at some point in the game. The way Sora, Donald, and Goofy look is amazing as well, and it's just going to get better and better as we get closer to release. We then jump to the Toy Story world where Woody and friends are on Andy's bed about to finally fight the Heartless. As they are about to go down, Buzz sees Sora and friends and stops them. We get a nice look at the Keyblade of this world and it looks great. Then we see the next world revealed based on the movie Monsters Inc. Sora makes a comment on the slogan of the building, "We scare because we care," before walking in. Notice on the side of the "we scare" part there is scaffolding there. This is most likely due to them changing the scare part because, like the Big Hero 6 and Toy Story worlds, this world's story is also an original story taking place after the events of the movie, as said by someone on Twitter who works for Pixar and is kind of helping out with this game, which is fantastic, by the way. She's great on Twitter. As Sora, Donald, and Goofy walk in, we get a closer look at their monster design. Goofy is all green with two different colored eyes and sizes. Donald is all blue with one big eye, wings and horns, and fangs on the sides of his bill. Sora is covered in a dark fur with cat-like ears, and his hair looks like fins of some kind. They see Sully and Mike after being reunited with Boo. All three of them look great, but Sully and Boo could use a bit of a touch-up for sure. They make a comment about how Sora and company aren't afraid of humans before Boo calls Donald Mike Wazowski, most likely because of his one eye, and it's just so adorable hearing her talk. They then get to introducing themselves before we get into some gameplay, and both Mike and Sully are in your party, and the command menu has changed to how it was in Kingdom Hearts 2, where the design will be different in the world they are in, and I like that. It's just so amazing. You can also see on the bottom of the menu the word Link. I'll get more into this later on, but you can see Sora holding this world's Keyblade, and it looks nice. The group is running before Sora makes a leap off the building like we have seen him do so many times. We then get into combat on the scare floor and look at what we are fighting. Unversed. Sora shows off magic before he changes the Keyblade to the Quick Claw command, and notice how Sora's fur changes to orange color now, kind of similar to how it looked like in those leaked pictures that were released a few months ago. This most likely has to do with the Keyblade transformation. If you look, you can see balloons and the bigger energy containers, so this shows that this takes place right at the end of the movie, where they are celebrating now using children's laughter instead of screams to energize their cities. We see the Quick Claw in action a little bit, and the motion of this gameplay is beautiful. We then see Sora holding onto a door before jumping up to the railings and grinding on them and shooting at enemies. We then jump to the Tangled world and finally get to see both Flynn and Rapunzel in combat and as party members. It's funny to note that Flynn is using a frying pan to attack, and that's awesome. We see Rapunzel use her hair to fight, and it And as a side note, the reason we haven't seen much of this world till now is because of her hair. They had to find ways to get it to work, and they have found ways to make it work now, so that's great. More combat happens, and we get a small look at the Keyblade of this world and see Sora sliding, similar to how he moved in Wisdom Form KH2. And you can see his clothes are different. If you look at the command menu, you see that it has the Mirage staff, and that the Keyblade has changed to a long staff. So the color and movement change could be because of the command changes, similar to what we saw in the Monsters Inc. world. Sora decides to take a swim to cool off after a long hard fight. And then we see Ariel. Now this is worth noting that we don't see the command menu, but we see the HUD and the health of the party members while this is going on. I'll be honest, this looks amazing. This is most likely what Link does. It could be a combination of both summons and D-Links from Birth by Sleep, but could be like a big move or kind of like a limit style or something, but we will have to see more before we know for sure. We then move on to Sora showing a shot lock, most likely called Sparkle Rays. If you look at the command menu, you can see two names, and one's like a flow chain move, but this one is most likely the Sparkle Rays move. You can also see that we are fighting what looks like nobodies, including those that are holding weapons similar to Marluxia, that we saw the last time this world was in a trailer. We then see Sora plant his weapon into the ground, and a tower comes up, and him and two holograms of himself are pointing at a ball of light that starts shooting around them. This is most likely what the finish of the Mirage Staff command is. We move back to Toy Story World in a ball pit area and see Sora summon the teacups from an earlier trailer called the Mad Teacups. Could this be a Link attack as well? Who knows? We then move to a big open area, and it looks like we are fighting a UFO type boss, with buildings and rockets flying everywhere. Speaking of rockets, Woody, Buzz, and Sora start riding on one and fly around a bit. This could be a limit move with Woody and Buzz, as it's called Rocket Ruckus and has the Rocket Strike and Cancel. We see what I'm assuming is the Rocket Strike when they fire the rocket at the boss. This reminds me of the roller coaster move we saw in an early trailer with the Rock Titan at Olympus Coliseum. Still at the boss, but now it's dark, and it looks like we have to do some platforming in order to hit him. Back at the Monsters Inc. world, Sora is showing off flow motion, and at the top left we see Boo with a laugh power, so we may have to fill that up for some reason. Later on we see Sora use the second Keyblade style, Twin Yo-Yo, and I love this style. You can see the laugh power meter is full, and an attack called Scream Strike is available. I just love the animation of the yo-yos, and how you fight with them is so cool. We see them take a large body and start chomping at it, and it just looks amazing. We see Sora pick up Mike and bowl him to a Heartless and get a strike. I think this is what the Scream Strike is, since, you know, it's a play on the word strike from bowling. If so, it's both funny and cool. We see Meow Wow come back, so Dream Eaters are also in this game. This could be a Link attack as well, since the command menu changes to Wonder Balloon and has Balloon Rush and Tornado Jump as attacks. As you can see, a hit counter on the top left as Meow Wow explodes into more Dream Eaters. And I just have to say they look gorgeous. I do want to note that Sora does take damage a little bit too while on the Meow Wow, so you do not have invincibility frames during this. A container rolls to Sora, and we see Vanitas holding his Keyblade at Sora, saying he needs the half of him that sleeps inside Sora's heart. Vanitas has a black coat and his helmet on, and he looks so silk, and his Keyblade looks so gorgeous, like, it's so beautiful looking. Sora says his name, but it's shocked because how would he have known Vanitas' name? He has never seen Vanitas before. But Ventus, who is in his heart, does, so it's Ventus that is coming out during this. Vanitas says Ventus' name and how he has found a strange place to slither off to. As he is walking to Sora, he calls Vanitas a insignificant speck as he's reaching his hand to Sora before he slaps it away. And Sora just has so much sass when he slaps it away. It's so awesome. And that's the end of the trailer, with the logo coming up and still saying coming 2018. Overall, I really like this trailer. I'm glad we finally saw some of the Tangle World and Monsters Inc. world since it was leaked months ago. I was hoping to see some of the Big Hero 6 world, but maybe in the next trailer. Speaking of the Tangle World, in a video that only those at the event saw, They saw a scene of Sora and the group in the town area from the movie, and it was alive with people. So we are finally going to have some NPCs in this game series, and I cannot wait. There's actually going to be people in the game that you can talk to, more so than there was in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. It's so beautiful. The second trailer is shorter than the other one, but the main focus was to intro the theme song of Kingdom Hearts 3, Don't Think Twice by Utada Hikaru, or Oath as it is called in Japan. And I just want to say I love this song. It's so sweet and soothing. I feel like this version will be the one we hear during the credits of the game, while there will be a more pop version one, kind of similar to how there was one for Simple and Clean and Sanctuary in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, when they were playing in the openings for those games. We start by seeing scenes from previous trailers, like young Ericus and Xehanort playing chess, Sora falling into Olympus in his Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit, which is slightly different from the orchestra trailer when we last saw this. Some combat in Tangled with Sora going into the Mirage Staff Command fighting the Rock Troll in Olympus Coliseum. We then see a little of an update version of young Xehanort in the Toy Story world. Skin is darker and ears are more pointy. A nice little update, but it might be a little too dark skin for young Xehanort. More scenes from Toy Story. Then we see a scene from Monsters Inc. world with everyone watching Boo, but she gets a scared look on her face, either from Donald talking or with what is most likely is that some enemies are probably most likely unversed, showing up that we can't see quite yet. We see Vanitas holding the container in front of the group before he drops it. We then see Maleficent with Pete and Hades that we saw in the previous trailer as well. We then move to Twilight Town where we see Xemnas and notice that he has had some changes as well. His skin is much darker than it has in the previous trailers and in Kingdom Hearts 2, 358 over 2 days, and Dream Drop Distance and every other time that I've seen him. It's too dark and weird. This is something I'm sure that they will fix before the final product, so I have no worries there. Now we get to some new scene. We see Riku's Keyblade, Way to the Dawn, and it's broken. How did this happen and why? Like, that's the first thing I noticed when I watched this trailer, was I noticed that his Keyblade was broken. I'm like, wait, what? How did that happen? When did this happen? But that is a whole nother video on its own. We see the holder of the Keyblade, Riku, with his new clothes and new hair. And although a lot of people compare him to Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, I think he still looks amazing. And we see Mickey in his new clothes, and I want to say Mickey looks 10 times better than he did in 0.2. As you can see, the two are in the realm of darkness in the Dark Meridian that we have seen many times. We know that Riku and Mickey are here to save Aqua. Riku digs his Keyblade into the ground and says he can't use the Keyblade anymore, so he's going to leave it here in case the other me needs it. What in the world could he mean by another me? Does he mean the replica Riku from Chain of Memories? Some other Riku? Who knows? The Riku that we saw in Dream Drop Distance? Again, who knows? And that is the end of the trailer, with the logo coming up saying 2018. Now we know Riku is going to need a new Keyblade, and he gets one, as we see in some new renders of Riku that was released a few days later. I do say I'm not a big fan of it, but it does look pretty decent, and I can't wait to learn the name of this Keyblade. There's also been not a PlayArts Kai, but like a smaller version of PlayArts Kai release of Riku that will be coming out soon. So I'm definitely going to be getting that. And that is my take on the two trailers. And I have to say, these are really amazing. And I cannot wait for the next one. We are most likely going to get one at E3. But there is an event happening in April for Union Cross, so we could get one there as well. Probably not as big as these last two were, but maybe a little something. Now I have a feeling the trailer that we will see at E3 could show the sweet release date that we have been waiting for this game. There was a rumor saying that the release date will be revealed at E3, but that has since been disproven since no one can really confirm that they heard it from someone that's been working at Square. But the likelihood of us getting a release date at E3 is very high. I'm really excited for this game and can't wait for this game to finally be in my hands. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I'd like to know how you felt about the trailers and the new song, and when do you think we will get a release date? I also want to know how you guys feel about Monsters Inc. being finally confirmed as a game, and how you guys feel about Mike, Sully, and Boo, and everything else about these trailers. I want to know what you all think about it. So yeah, I want to thank you all so much again for watching these videos. And you guys want to know more, hit that subscribe button so that you can follow more about any reaction videos, any other news stuff that I talk about on this channel. And of course, guys, when this game finally does come out, I will be Let's Playing it on my gaming channel, RPG Kingdom Kid, which you can find a link to the channel in the description below as well. And you guys can follow me on Twitter as well. Both my main Twitter and the RPG Kingdom Kid Twitter are down there too if you guys ever want to know the latest hip haps or just want to chat a bit. That's cool too. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all next time.